powerful statement by NBA players on Wednesday night in the wake of the shooting of Jacob Blake. Started with the Milwaukee Bucks. All NBA teams expected to play Wednesday night, now boycotting, and the NBA has postponed those matches. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Nick Gelso and Jeff Goodman, and it feels like we're talking about something really historic here. Your reactions to these teams boycotting these games, and it doesn't feel like it's going to stop here.
No, and you thought that it would start, honestly, with the Toronto Celtics game 1 on Thursday, so I think there was a little bit of a surprise when the Milwaukee Bucks chose not to take the court, stay in the locker room, and boycott. I just talked to Orlando Magic guard Michael Carter-Williams, and he said they had no idea that the Bucks weren't going to play. But what he said, he's happy that they didn't, and the Orlando Magic are happy that they didn't. And I think that's the one thing you're seeing now with this NBA community is that they're united. And to be honest, it's pretty cool to see that they're together in this message to try to heighten the awareness and to try to impact change.
Leave it to the NBA. I mean, they have led the way in every aspect of 2020 in a good way, going from the pandemic to the civil unrest. And this really leads back to Donald Sterling when Adam Silver's first real ruling was to ban him for life. The NBA has been progressive. They were the first league to come out with coronavirus, first league to really embrace Black Lives Matters, and now first league of what I think will probably hit baseball now too, from what I'm hearing, to start the boycott. And guys, I mean, we're too young for Muhammad Ali and all that stuff that happened in our parents' generation. We're kind of seeing our generation's version of that. And I couldn't be more proud. Let's put it this way. You got a range of feelings, right? Emotions. I'm embarrassed as a Caucasian man for what has gone on, and so proud to be involved or associated in a very small way with the NBA and the way they've handled it.
It does feel in some ways like the night when Rudy Gobert tested positive, and then everything happened really, really fast. Milwaukee didn't leave the locker room. Then the Magic left the court. And then all the other teams supposed to play that night decided to do the same. And now apparently the NBA is calling for a players' meeting tonight to decide how they will proceed. It feels like this might be the end of the bubble, because what's boycotting one game, right? These players really want to make a significant change. We've seen Jaylen Brown get out in the community, a number of NBA players really be on the front lines of this issue. And I don't see them sitting out one game and then saying their work is done. So is the bubble done?
Yeah, that's the question, Jeff. Because truly, what's the end result? What goal are they looking for? We know the overall goal, but that doesn't happen with one game. I know when this first started to trickle out, I thought, if it's just one playoff series, I don't know what's the best move, because they're giving up such a great spotlight. Yeah. And that, you heard LeBron talk about a doc in his emotional presser last night. I hope the bubble doesn't end, but Jeff, what's the end result here? I mean,
justice.
Good answer.
Honestly, for those that need it right now, whether it's Breonna Taylor, whether it's Jacob, I think that's going to be the key here. They want justice, and I don't blame them. Again, listen, we can't put ourselves in their situation. We don't walk down the street scared of the police. We don't drive our cars, and when we get pulled over, we're not fearful of our lives or of our kids' lives. They are. So I do. Listen, they deserve justice. Jacob was shot 7 times. He didn't have a gun.
In front of his kids.
I mean, come on. So I think that's what they want. And honestly, I get it. The process takes a while sometimes, right? I get it. But ultimately, in some of these cases, it shouldn't take as long as it does.
Jeff, I mean, you and I know Doc. You know him better than me, but we both know him. We knew it was going to be emotional last night when he hit that podium. But I don't know, Sierra, Jeff, like for me, I've seen Doc cry a million times over just about everything. Last night, it hit me here. Like it hit me. It was like he's been holding that in for his whole life. And
how would you like to worry about your grandkids? right? I mean, you're worried about your kids, your grandkids, and you haven't seen the world be in a better place. You thought it was going in a better place, but honestly, it's spinning its wheels, and in many ways, it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
It's gotten where we've never had a generation that's handed the country over in worse shape than they got it. And I don't fear, kind of know at this point, this is a mess.
A mess.
Well, the reason that Doc's words are even more impactful this time around is because, what was it, a couple months ago? It was George Floyd. This is like 2.0. Now, Jacob Blake, luckily and thankfully, did not lose his life, but it doesn't change what happened in the fact that police brutality seems to still be an issue after it feels like progress was being made, but really it's just becoming more divisive across this country as these issues begin to rise and rise again. And Jaylen Brown's comments really also were so emotional, because he says now every time he looks at his jersey, he sees the number of times that a black man was shot. And that's really disappointing. That's super upsetting. And like you said, I don't really know where to go from here, because I do think it's safe to say that the Celtics and Raptors are going to follow suit, considering they were discussing this before Milwaukee ever sat out of this game. So I do think that while it was super fun and entertaining to have basketball back in our lives.
And a success. Don't forget that, Sierra. It was a success.
Well, this
the
makes
MLB and the NFL have no...
This makes it even more of a success, because this is a statement like we've never seen before. So who knows what's next? Before
you wrap, I mean, truly, Jeff, Sierra, I would like to think there will be basketball, not so much as a fan, more as someone who wants to hear from these players regularly. But with the RNC, I'm not going to turn this political, but with the convention going on the next 2 days, I can almost guarantee they're going to stoke the flames of this burning bonfire, and that's probably the end of the bubble.
Don't you think that, right, that's just going to inspire these players to say, the hell with it? You try to come after us, we're not playing? So I agree. I think this is going to go on longer than we think, but ultimately I think the way they get back on the court is for arrests to be made. And
or statements, or how about anything from the government? I mean, anything positive. I mean,
that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
No, there's no way Donald Trump is going to come forward and admit he's wrong about anything.
No, he's going to stoke the fire, and he's going to stoke the fire, and that's a shame. That's a shame. I don't really have anything else to say on this other than that. You know, my prayers are with the family, and God maybe did something sideways here by. Jacob is paralyzed, but his mouth is going to work. He's going to be able to talk. He's going to be able to say what happened. And whether he was in the wrong or the right, no one deserves to be gunned down point blank in front of their children. And he's going to be able to talk about it. So this ain't over.
Well, for all of our continued coverage of this developing situation and how the Celtics will ultimately be involved, you can find it on our website at clnsmedia.com.
The Garden Report is brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code MAXWELL20.